Jordan Love, feeling better, must handle pressure. Better versus Rams. Green Bay Packers quarterback Jordan Love had a rough outing against the Minnesota Vikings last week. After returning from a knee injury that had sidelined him for 2 games, Love struggled to handle Minnesota's relentless pass rush, which ranks among the best in the NFL. Now, with his knee feeling better, Love faces another challenge this Sunday as the Packers take on the Los Angeles Rams. Love under fire. In his return, Love's mobility was clearly limited. As the game quickly slipped out of Green Bay's control, the Vikings' defense pounced, sensing the opportunity to disrupt the Packers' offense. According to Next Gen Stats, Love faced immense pressure on 21 dropbacks. Tied for the most of any quarterback in the league last week, Minnesota blitzed 46.4% of the time, the 4th highest rate in the NFL, making Love a frequent target. Despite being sacked only twice, Love was hit 10 times and battered throughout the game. When asked about his health, Love downplayed the knee issue, saying, "The knee's feeling fine. It's typical post-game soreness, but the body is feeling better after a few days of rest." Her struggles under pressure. The Packers' 31-29 loss to the Vikings wasn't just about Love's physical limitations. It also exposed his struggles under pressure. According to Pro Football Focus, Love completed only 7 of 19 passes when under duress. His 36.8% completion rate ranked 25th out of 29 quarterbacks, pressured at least 6 times last week. With just 4.9 yards per attempt and a passer rating of 31.1, Love's performance under pressure left much to be desired. However, Love showed resilience, taking the hits and continuing to push through. His ability to stay in the game, especially after a scary moment when a defender fell on the back of his knee, was a positive sign. "That was the big test," Love said. "Getting hit and seeing how I would respond. It definitely gave me more confidence moving forward." Finding a rhythm late in the game. While the first half was a disaster, with the Packers down 28-0, Love began to find his rhythm in the second half. He threw for 222 yards in the final 16 minutes, completing 15 of 19 passes. Though some might argue that the Vikings' defense eased up with a big lead, Love believes the production was genuine. "I think we did some really good things in the second half. We put ourselves in a position to have a chance, but it was too little, too late." Despite throwing 54 passes, far more than head coach Matt LaFleur had planned, Love's increased reps allowed him to get comfortable again after missing time. "As the game went on, I started improving, getting back into the timing and ball placement," Love said. "Those reps definitely helped me moving forward." Our next challenge, the Rams. Looking ahead to Sunday's matchup against the Rams, Love will face a defense that, while statistically poor, has a knack for applying pressure. The Rams have the highest pressure rate in the league, even though they blitz less than most teams. According to Next Gen Stats, they rank 27th in yards allowed per rush and dead last in yards allowed per pass, making them vulnerable but still dangerous due to their ability to disrupt quarterbacks. For Love, improving against pressure will be crucial. If he can handle the Rams' pass rush more effectively than he did the Vikings, he'll have the chance to exploit their leaky defense. With Christian Watson expected to miss time due to injury, Love will need to build on his late-game connection with receivers like Jaden Reed and Romeo Doubs. Confidence moving forward. With his knee feeling better and the offense finding some rhythm late in last week's game, Love is optimistic about what's to come. "I like where my knee's at coming out of the game, and it gives me confidence going forward," Love said. If he can shake off the rust and handle the pressure more effectively, Love and the Packers have a good opportunity to bounce back against the Rams. The key will be consistency and avoiding the slow starts that have plagued Green Bay in recent weeks. If Love can stay upright and comfortable in the pocket, Sunday could be a turning point for both him and the Packers' season. Where could Davante Adams end up? Plus, new stars emerging as stat leaders. Scoop City is the Athletic's daily NFL newsletter. Sign up to get exclusive content directly in your inbox. Today we're taking an early look at the league's top stat leaders, insights from the Athletic's anonymous player poll, and the latest buzz around a potential blockbuster trade for one of the league's top receivers, Davante Adams. The Croissant, what Deanna's hearing, teams pursuing Davante Adams. Davante Adams, the star receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders, is anxiously awaiting a potential trade as he deals with a hamstring injury. He's expected to miss this week's matchup against the Denver Broncos, while conversations about his future continue to unfold behind the scenes. So far, the New York Jets, Pittsburgh Steelers, and New Orleans Saints are actively in talks with the Raiders regarding a possible deal for Adams. However, teams like the Buffalo Bills and Kansas City Chiefs are also keeping a close eye on the situation. If the Raiders show flexibility, particularly in paying a portion of Adams' sizable contract, these teams are ready to jump into the bidding war. As one general manager pointed out, the money is huge, and the future financial commitments are just as significant. With Adams' base salary set at $35.6 million in 2025 and $36.6 million in 2026, the financial hurdles may limit his trade market, but teams willing to compete for a championship could find a way. Trade proposals. Where could Davante Adams land? With Adams not holding a no-trade clause in his contract, the Raiders have the freedom to move him to the highest bidder. However, if Adams is truly eager to reunite with Aaron Rodgers in New York, he could help facilitate the trade by agreeing to restructure his contract, which currently lacks any guarantees beyond this season. Here are 3 of the most likely trade proposals that could materialize, based on insights from The Athletic's writers and GMs around the league. Pittsburgh Steelers. Offer: 2025 second-round pick. The Steelers are in need of another playmaker to complement George Pickens. After passing on Brandon Ayuk this summer, Pittsburgh is eyeing a move to bring Adams to their offense. General manager Omar Khan would need to work some salary cap magic, clearing about $4 million in space this season. The Raiders have publicly said they want a second-round pick, and Pittsburgh can offer just that. This move could strengthen the Steelers' offense and make them more competitive in the AFC North. 2. Washington Commanders. Offer: conditional 2025 third-round pick, 2026 seventh-round pick, and wide receiver Dyami Brown. Washington has ample cap space, $25 million, giving them room to absorb Adams' contract. Adding Adams would solidify the Commanders' receiving core, which already features Terry McLaurin, but lacks depth behind him. The team has been making moves to bolster its roster, and bringing in a star like Adams could propel Washington into legitimate playoff contention. GM Adam Peters would have to make a bold play, but this move could pay huge dividends. New York Jets. Offer: 2025 third and fifth round picks and a 2026 fourth round pick. The Jets are perhaps the most win-now team in the NFL. They haven't made the playoffs since 2010, and with the arrival of Aaron Rodgers, prior to his injury, there was a renewed sense of urgency. Despite Rodgers' absence, GM Joe Douglas and head coach Robert Saleh are aggressively pursuing their first winning season. Adding Adams to their offense could give them the firepower they need to make a deep playoff run. The Jets are seen as the frontrunners for Adams' services, and many around the league believe they're most likely to pull off this deal. The financial factor. The biggest obstacle for any team looking to acquire Adams is the financial commitment that comes with him. His contract's massive base salaries in 2025 and 2026 could be a deal-breaker for some teams unless they can negotiate a restructuring or convince the Raiders to cover part of the remaining contract. However, for teams like the Jets, who are all in on winning now, those numbers may be less daunting if Adams can deliver immediate impact on the field. With Adams' trade market heating up and teams jockeying for position, his landing spot could shift the balance of power in the NFL. Whether it's a reunion with Rodgers in New York or a fresh start with a team like the Steelers or Commanders, wherever Adams ends up, he will be expected to deliver game-changing performances. Stay tuned as trade talks continue to develop, and the countdown to a potential deal draws nearer.